Hey there, thanks so much for stopping in on the channel. So it is that time of year, okay? It's nice outside. We're spending more time outside, which is awesome. But with that comes bugs, lots and lots of bugs. Now, if you're like me, I tend to have what they call, I think, sweet blood. So I am always the one where the bugs just tend to just swarm around and bite while everyone else is apparently totally fine. So in this video, I want to show you guys how to make a natural bug repellent spray that you can use without any worry for chemicals or anything of that nature. And you probably already have a lot of this stuff already in your home. So let's do it. Get started with the recipe. Now, I wanted to say a couple of things. You might say, okay, why are we making our own? It's actually easier just to go to the store and purchase it. And yes, it's convenient to do that. But with the amount that you're actually getting as far as a natural repellent or a natural spray, based off of what we're going to do here today, this is actually in the long term more of a cost savings for you, and you know exactly what is going into it. So I actually, just like I said, like to make my own. If you can make your own, I highly encourage that you do it. So a couple of things you're going to need to grab to get started if you have them, so that way you can work along with the video. Is for mine, I'm actually working with a large glass container, and I'm doing this because I'm making big batches. I'm going to make some for myself and make some for a friend of mine who does a lot of gardening, and her house is just surrounded by trees, so she is just overwhelmed with the bugs. So, but if you have whatever container, it's like, you know, a spray bottle or something like that works just fine. You are going to need apple cider vinegar. You're going to need witch hazel. And then you're going to need to grab your essential oils. Now, the essential oils that we're going to be working with today, we're going to work with tea tree. We are going to work with cedar wood if you have it. We are going to work with peppermint, eucalyptus, and lemongrass if you have that as well. If you don't have all of those oils, that's totally fine. Just work with what you have, but I will explain and get into why those oils actually work for different bugs in one. Started with this recipe, you are going to need a couple of things. We're going to start with apple cider vinegar and witch hazel as our base, if you have that. And the reason that we are going to start with this is because, again, this is a repellent. We want the pests to stay away. And witch hazel actually is going to help to mix the oils really well so that they can be more effective. And apple cider vinegar, believe it or not, the bugs actually don't like the smell of the apple cider vinegar. Now, before you get a little worried, no, it won't overpower you and you won't be walking around smelling like all apple cider vinegar. So we're going to start with that. And I'm going to eyeball this, but you want to do about equal parts of both. So for this container, I'm going to just add in a little bit because I know exactly how much I need. So I'm just going to eyeball it with the vinegar. But just remember to do equal parts. And then you're also going to add in the witch hazel, which is actually probably going to be just enough because of the amount that I actually have here. So we'll do equal parts of apple cider vinegar and witch hazel. Okay, and then we're going to get into the powerhouse, which is actually essential oils. Now, depending on where you live and what your pests are, different oils are actually going to do different things. So I'm going to start with eucalyptus oil. Eucalyptus oil is amazing to actually keep the mosquitoes away. So I am going to add about 5 drops of essential oil. That's way more than 5. I'm going to add eucalyptus oils for that to keep the mosquitoes away. Another essential oil is peppermint. Peppermint is also great to keep the mosquitoes away. So or any flying insect actually doesn't like peppermint. So I'm going to add a few drops of peppermint. And now I'm going to add a few drops of tea tree. And it's the same thing. You know, the insects don't like tea tree oil. They don't like the smell of it. They tend to stay away. So I'm going to add 5 drops of tea tree. And like I said, if you have lemongrass, you can add the lemongrass oil in there. That's actually going to help with the flying insects and things that, mosquitoes and things of that nature. And then if you are a hiker, if you like to go hiking and things like that, you are going to definitely need cedar wood. Cedar wood is what the ticks cannot stand. So I always make sure that I add this to any one of my insect repellents just because you never know. So we're going to add 5 drops of cedar wood oil. Okay. Okay, so a few, quick tips with regards to the spray. As you see, it's pretty straightforward and fairly easy. I like to keep my videos easy and my tips easy for you guys so that you don't think being natural is too complicated. But if you are using this for kids, the original recipe, I think I forgot to mention in the video as I was shooting it, but you need about 30 drops of oil total. So 5 drops each, 30 drops total. But if you are using this on kids, you want to cut that in half, right? So cut that to 15 drops. And I would not recommend putting this directly on a child's skin. I would put it directly on my skin, my clothes, what have you, but I wouldn't recommend that for kids. And definitely don't use this for babies or kids under the age of 1 because of obvious reasons. They're really not supposed to be using essential oils or be exposed to it, especially on their skin. So what I like to do with my son is I will spray it like on his hat, his clothes, his shoes, things like that, articles of clothing, not directly on the skin. And then you're going to need to reapply it a few times, just like any other spray, depending on the duration of how long you guys are out or how woodsy it is where you are. You might need to reapply. Now, I hope you found the tip helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe and notification bell. That way you never miss when I upload a new video each and every week. Take care.